what time it is?
Well, I'm not late.
Well, you're not early. I've got to talk with Mr. Harcourt. He's somewhat of an authority on grand jury proceedings.
James, Rockford.
We don't have much time, so just listen to me. You have the right to consult with me before answering any questions.
I know I can consult with you.
I can't go in
Mr.
there.
Rockford, I'll have to ask you to step inside. The grand jury's waiting.
I can't go in there with you.
You're my lawyer.
I didn't make the rules. I have to stay out here. But you have the right to consult with me. Just ask for permission, then come out in the hall.
Mr. Rockford.
It's all right if you answer when they ask you your name, but if you answer anything after that...
Mr. Rockford, do you know the purpose of this inquiry?
No, sir.
You have no idea why you've been called here today?
No.
If I were to tell you that you've been called to testify regarding your relationship with Mr. Frank Sorvino, would that surprise you?
It would not only surprise me, but it would confuse me. I don't know Frank Sorvino.
You've never heard of him?
I didn't say that. He's some kind of union official. I read about him in the newspapers a couple of months ago, something about him.
Further.
I haven't perjured myself.
Before you perjure yourself further, I would like you to look at the record book I've just handed you. Would you open the book to the page indicated by the marker? Would you read the date, please?
The 23rd?
The 23rd. The same day that Mr. Sorvino disappeared. May I direct your attention to the right-hand page, fourth name down from the top. Would you read the name aloud, please?
James Rockford, but...
And the telephone number following the name is your number, 555-2368?
It is, but who does this book belong to? I think I'm entitled to know that.
It's the telephone log kept by Mr. Sorvino's secretary, Mr. Frank Sorvino. The man you've only read about. The man you've never met. The man who called you on the very day that he was kidnapped. Why did he call you, Mr. Rockford?
He didn't.
The secretary has testified that the check mark following the telephone call indicates a call completed.
Now, I'm testifying that the call might have been placed, but it was never completed.
Yes, well, you're lying, Mr. Rockford. Now, I want to know the nature of your relationship with Frank Sorvino. I want to know the nature of that telephone call. I want to know exactly what was said. And I want a detailed account of your movements on the date in question. Were you present at the Show and Arms Hotel on the afternoon of the... You have a prison record. Isn't that true, Mr. Rockford?
I also have a pardon to go along with it.
For what crime were you imprisoned, Mr. Rockford?
Oh, wait a minute. What are you trying to get at?
What crime, Mr. Rockford?
Well, I fail to see what...
You'll answer the question, Mr. Rockford.
No, sir. In all due respect, I don't think I will.
Mr. Rockford.
I refuse to testify on the grounds that it might incriminate me.
Mr. Foreman, I ask the witness be directed to answer the question.
You're directed to answer.
I have the right to refuse to answer on the grounds of self-incrimination.
You have waived your rights, Mr. Rockford.
No, I haven't.
I contend that you have waived your rights by answering the preceding questions. Now, if you want a judge to make that determination, I'd be happy to take you into open court where you'll be commanded to answer the question or be cited for contempt.
What the hell ever happened to the Fifth Amendment?
It doesn't apply.
What do you mean it doesn't apply? It's in the Constitution.
It doesn't apply in this case, Jim. He read the questions the grand jury asked you, and he read your answers, and he said you waived your rights.
Want to know what I think?
I know what you think, and I agree with you, only there's nothing I can do about it.
I don't even know Frank Sorvino. I don't even know what they're trying to prove, whether I kidnapped him or snuck him out of the country. Or it's his show all the way. No attorney for the defense. You gotta go take a hike to find a judge. Just Bevins and his merry band of men. Beth, how soon can you get me out of here?
You stay in jail until you agree to testify.
Well, I'm not gonna testify. Bevins is a one-man lynch mob.
Or until the expiration of the current grand jury term.
When's that?
About 9 months.
9 months? Oh, that's a pretty stiff sentence.
That's why they made it civil contempt. If they'd made it criminal contempt and asked for a sentence of more than 6 months, you'd have had a right to a trial by jury.
9 months.
But When the new grand jury is impaneled, if you're called again and you refuse to testify again...
Then it's back to the old slammer. I haven't been charged with anything. I haven't been convicted of anything. Even with a deal like that. Do you realize how long I could be in here?
That's all, Mr. Rockford.
Well, not quite, Mr. Bevins. See, I've testified before this grand jury on 2 prior occasions. As a result, I've been imprisoned twice. I've been very nearly killed. And I've been subjected to the most flagrant abuse of power.
Mr. Rockford, you are coming dangerously close to contempt of court again.
Mr. Bevins, can't Mr. Rockford finish? We are interested in what he has to say.
Thank you, Mr. Foreman. See, it's been quite an education, Mr. Bevins. I have not only been cited with contempt, but I've been treated with contempt. And with a total disregard for my rights guaranteed me under the Constitution. I've been guilty of nothing except ignorance of the fact that the man that I knew as George Catman was in fact Frank Sorvino, and with the ignorance that in a proceeding of law you could slander and threaten and try to intimidate me with impunity. Well, Mr. Bevins, I want an apology. And I want it now.
The grand jury has no apology to make. You've been treated with scrupulous regard to your rights. The abuse of power to which you refer is the power conferred upon this body.
I wasn't referring to the grand jury, Mr. Bevins.
The witness is excused.
I read an article in a recent legal publication. I'd like to introduce it into the record, if that's all right. Thank you. It said, "There is no such thing as a small injustice. There is no such thing as a minor abridgment of rights, that if even one citizen is so deprived, make no mistake, we all suffer."
Stirring, Mr. Rockford. Thank you very much.
That was part of a summation of a case that attracted quite a bit of attention a few years back. The client had been subjected to harassment, a legal search and seizure, a series of injustices in the name of justice.
Mr. Rockford, would it be too much to hope that there is a point to this rather lengthy reminiscence? The term of the current grand jury expires in 9 months.
Oh, I think you'll want to hear how it ended. It's a real Cinderella story. You see, the defense attorney not only won an acquittal for his client with this impassioned outcry, but that very attorney was plucked from private practice by no less than the Attorney General of the United States and appointed as an assistant federal prosecutor.
And I trust lived happily ever after.
I hope not, Mr. Bevins. I sincerely hope not. You don't remember the words, do you, Mr. Bevins? Because they're your words. As you said before, the grand jury has another 9 months to serve here. I'd like to think that the grand jury will remember your words.